Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nano एतादृशस्य सतः ज्ञानाद्भेदे परिच्छिन्नत्वापत्तेः ज्ञानात्मकत्वाद् अभ्युपेयम्. So now Arjuna is doubting. What does he say? Nanu etadrishasya sat, the sat you established, this sat jnanad bhede, if it is different from knowledge, parichinnatvat, since it is different from knowledge, it is limited by knowledge. Therefore jnanatmakatvam abhipeyam, you have to accept the sat as a jnana also. We have no problem actually, but he is approaching it from a different angle. The opponent now, the doubter now is approaching it from a different angle. That is the problem. So you have to accept the sat as a knowledge also, existence as knowledge also. Yes, okay. Another problem. What is that? Tacha anadhyasikam anyatha jadatvavattehe, and that knowledge should be accepted as a non-superimposed. If you accept that knowledge to be superimposed, since the sat does not have knowledge, the sat will become jada, inert. Since sat does not have knowledge, knowledge is superimposed on sat, sat will become inert. So he says, tathacha anadhyasika jnana rupasya satah dhatvarthatvat. Therefore, what happens? This sat, which is of the nature of jnana, which because jnana is not superimposed, this sat which does not have a superimposed knowledge, dhatvarthatvat utpatti vinashavatvam. Because of the meaning of root word, because of the nature of the meaning of root word, which is always a verb, meaning which is always endowed with an action. So, see, every word is from a root word. Ramu Kridayam. We say Rama, which is a noun, but Rama, that word comes from a root word Ramu. Okay, in Ramu, U gets dropped, Ram plus us, etc. Then you get Rama. Okay, that is a different issue. Now, what we say is that Ramu, that root word, is in the meaning of Kridaya. Kridaya means to play. To play, that's the meaning. To play. So, every root word is endowed with a meaning, and that meaning is always in an action. That is why we say dhatvartha kriya jnaya. Dhatvartha, the meaning of the root word should always be an action. Now, sat is no action, but knowledge is action. Okay, so what? If it is endowed with action, utpatti vinashvattam, you have to accept it to be endowed with creation and destruction. Therefore, ghatagyanam utpannam, ghatagyanam nashtamiti pratyekshya. This is nothing wrong, because we see the experience, we have the experience like the knowledge of pot. The knowledge of pot is created, the knowledge of pot gets destroyed. We have this experience. So, we have to accept it to be created and destructed, that which undergoes creation and destruction. Knowledge, which is in turn sat, existence. So, एवंच अहं घटं जानामि इति प्रतीतेः तस्य साश्रयितं सविषयितं चेति देशकालवस्तु परिच्छिन्नत्वात् स्फुरणस्य कथं तद्रूपस्य सतः देशकालवस्तु परिच्छेद शून्यतम् इति. So what he comes to is this. एवंच, in this situation, when this situation means the situation that the knowledge is endowed with the creation and destruction, and knowledge means the sat which is endowed with the creation and destruction. Therefore, the knowledge, ghatam aham janami pratitehe, the experience of knowledge, that I have the knowledge of pot. In this, tasya sashriyatam savishyatam cheti, the knowledge which is the sat is the base and the subject, the object. The knowledge is the base, locus, and as well as the object. Therefore, iti deshakala vastu parichinnatvat. If it is a sashretam, if it is the base, and if it is an object of that knowledge, then what happens? It is limited by time, space, and causation. Naturally. And whatever is limited by time, space, and causation cannot be eternal. Therefore, he says, Spuranasya, that self, which is of the nature of that sat, which is of the nature of experience, katham tadrupasya sataha, deshakala vastu paricheda shunyatam. How can you say it is devoid of the limitations of time, space, and time, place, and objects? How can you say this? Because he established in the previous stanza that it is devoid of time, space, and object limitations. Sat. How can you say? Because it is limited by time, space, and this object. Therefore, he says, since knowledge is dependent and knowledge is something which is the object, therefore it will be limited. Therefore, it will be undergoing destruction. So you cannot say it is not limited by time, space, causation, etc. Iti ashankyaha. For this doubt, Bhagavan says, Avinashi tutam vidhi tad vidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. Avinashi tu tad vidhi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyayasya asya na kaschit kartum arhati. Avinashi tu tad vidhi, understand it to be, know it to be, vidhi, to know. Tad vidhi, know that to be, definitely avinashi, to be indestructible. Yena sarvamidam tatam, which one? Which is indestructible? The one which is engulfing everything. Tatam means vyaptam, that which one engulfs everything. Vinasham avyayasya asya vinasham. This which is avyaya, navyeti iti avyaya, that which does not undergo any change is avyaya. For this avyaya, which does not undergo any change, for this vinasham, destruction, na kaschit kartumarti, no one can do. No one can create destruction for this one which does not undergo any change, which does not undergo any destruction, any decay. Vinasha. Vinasha means, first we have to understand what Vinasha. Deshada kalata vastutaha va parichhedaha. So asya asti iti vinashi. So Vinasha means what is destruction? That which is limited by time, space, or causation is destruction. That which is limited by time, space, or causation is a destruction. And that which is endowed with is called as Vinashi. That which is endowed with the limitations of time, space, causation is a Vinashi. Parichinnam, meaning parichinnam, limited. That tad vilakshana vinashi, that which is different from this, that which is contrary to this is a avinashi, indestructible. Sarva prakara paricheda shunyam, meaning which does not have any type of limitations, which is devoid of any type of limitations. Tu eva tat sadrupam spuranam tvam vidhi janihi. Understand definitely that sat to be in this way. That sat to be in this way means indestructible. Understand that to be. That to be, you didn't explain what that is. Kim tatu, what is that? Which you are explaining as indestructible. He says, yena sadrupena spuranarupena ekena nityena vimuna sarvam idam drishya jatam swataha satta spurti shunyam tatam vyaptam. Yena, by which? By which means sadrupena, that which is of the nature of existence, that which is of the nature of experience, Puranarupena, Ekena, that which is of the nature of non-dual, Nityena, that which is eternal, Vibhuna, that which is all-pervading, Drishya, Sarvamidam, all this, Drishya Jatam, all this means that which are seen, all these things which are seen, Swataha Satta Spurti Shiniam, which does not have inherently the nature of being experienced. It does not, the objects don't have in it the nature of experience. The experience is gained because of the association with the self, which is of the nature of experience. I drink a coffee and I say this is good coffee. That is not the nature of the coffee. It is the nature of the existence in that coffee. If it is the nature of the coffee, whether good or bad, or whether nice or not nice, then it should be the same throughout. But it is not same throughout. It should be same for everyone. It is not same for everyone. So we say it is not its nature. Tatam vyaptam. Therefore, that nature is of that self, which is of the nature of one non-dual, experiential, all-pervading, etc. By that vyaptam, it is pervaded. It is pervaded. Swata, how does it pervade it? Swata, swasatta spurti adhyasena, by superimposing its own inherent nature of existence. The objects which are inherently non-experienceable, that which are not just non-experienceable, which does not have any existence. For those objects, this self gives its existence, superimposes its existence on that. Rajju kalena, I don't understand. So he says, Rajju shaklena iva sarpatharadi swasmin samaveshitam tad avinashi eva vidhityartha. Rajju shaklena, in a piece of rope, iva, like in the piece of rope, as in the piece of rope, sarpatharadi, you see the snake, water line, or water line means a flow of water. You drop some water and it's flowing, a small till some period, like that, or a garland, or a crack in the ground, etc. All this which you see on that, which is superimposed on that small piece of rope, like that. Swasmin samaveshitam tad avinashi eva vidhityartha. Sarpadharadi swasmin samaveshita eva. Like the rope, etc., the snake, etc., which are superimposed on the rope. Similarly, this existence is superimposed on that objects which does not have existence in itself. That you understand. That and you understand as avinashi, indestructible. Tasmat. Why should I understand it like that? Yasmat, because vinasham, parichedam, avyayasya, aparichinnasya, aparokshasya, sarvanasyutasya, spuranarupasya, sataha, kaschid, kopi, ashrayova, vishayova, indriya sannikarshadi rupova, hetuhova, na kartum arhati, samartho na bhavati. Yasmat, because vinasham. Vinasham means, we already said, paricheda. Limitation is destruction. So, parichedam. Avyasya, for this which is which does not undergo any transformation, for this meaning aparichinnasya, which is not limited, for this which is aparokshasya, which is immediate knowledge, sarva anusyutasya, which is pervading everything, spuranarupasya, which is of the nature of experience, sataha, of that self, for that self, kaschit, kopi, no one, ashrayova, vishayova, indriyartha sannikarshadi, rupa heturva, whichever. He is giving three ways to create destruction, to create non-existence. See, logicians, they have this language to establish, to say something precisely. For that they say adjective, adjectified and its relationship. They use this. If you use adjective the adjectified and relationship in a proper way, then you establish that object. Ghatatva avachinna ghataha. Ghatatva, partners, avachinna is association. Ghatatva, or you say ghatatva prakaraka sanyoga sambandha avachinna ghataha. Samaya sambandha avachinna ghataha, like that you say. So ghata visheshakam. So ghatatva prakaraka, the ghatatva is the adjective for which is in samaya sambandha, inseparable relationship. That kind of part which is the adjectified. In this way they precisely say whatever they want to say. So there are three things, remember. One is adjective, the other is adjectified, and third is relationship. Now you see here, ashrayaha, ashraya is the adjectified, vishayaha, vishaya is the adjective, indriyat sannikarsha is the relationship. Like see here, is the pot on the table. Table is the ashraya, pot is the vishaya. Okay, the association, indriyat sannikarsha, etc., association of sense organ with the sense object, or the relationship between the pot and the table, etc. So if you say pot is on the table, it is not on the right side, it is on the left side. Ashraya. On the left side you say it is in the sanyoga sambandha, not in samaya sambandha. Indriyadi sannikarsha hetu. Pot is on the ground, not on the table. Ashrayaha. It is not the pot, it is cloth which is on the table. Vishayaha. So there are differences. So you can establish something which with the base, negate it with the base, accept it with the adjective, negate it with the adjective object, accept it with the relationship, negate it also with the relationship. Possible. So these are the three possibilities. So all these three are negated. Na kartum arhati, na samartho bhavati. No one can disprove this. There is no one who is capable of doing that. Kalpitasya akalpita parichedakatva yoga, because whatever is superimposed, that is a keyword. You have to understand that. Remember that. Kalpitasya akalpita parichedakatva yogat. Whatever is superimposed, kalpita, whatever is superimposed, akalpitasya, that which is not superimposed, paricheda, limiting, ayogat, means impossible, not capable. Meaning whatever is superimposed cannot limit whatever is not superimposed. It is impossible for that to limit. This is the base rule. A superimposed pot cannot limit the object. It's like we say in the example. See, you superimpose dirt, you superimpose a floor, you superimpose blueness, etc. on sky. Does it impure the sky? No. Superimposition does not in any which way affect the substratum. That is what he says. Kalpitasya akalpita parichedakatva yoga. The superimposed cannot limit the substratum. So, aropa matre cheshtapatte. Just the activity of superimposition. That's all. There is a just by superimposition all the activities take place. That is what we say. We don't say that changes. Just superimposition just takes care of all the transaction. That's what we accept. Aham ghatam janami ityatra hi ahankara ashrayataya bhasate ghatastu vishetaya. See, I know the pot. Here ahankara is the substratum and the pot is the object. You have to understand. In the knowledge, I know the pot. You said the knowledge is the substratum and knowledge is the object. But knowledge is not the substratum. It is the ego which is substratum and it is a locus. Ego is the locus which is substratum. And the knowledge, the pot is the object, not the knowledge. Utpatti vinashavati. Kachid ahankar vrittistu sarvato viprasrtasya satah spuranasya venjakataya. So utpatti vinashavati kachit ahankar vritti. And this ahankara vritti, like the knowledge you said will be created and destroyed. It is not the knowledge, it is the thought function which gets created and destroyed. So that thought function of ego which is created and destroyed, because ahankara is one thought function. Ahankara is abhimana, to be identifying with the I, mine, etc. So that is also a thought function. We have different thought functions. Kama, Sankalpa, Vichikitsa, Shraddha, Hri, Dhir, Ityatsaram, Maneva. All these are mind, accepted as mind. Desire, non-desire, violation, not violation, volition, non-violation, or shyness. All these, bravery, valor, all these are thought functions. So all these thought functions are created and they destroy. So he says, Kachit ahankara vritti tu, that ego which is the thought function, that sarvato viprasartasya sataha spurana rupatvasya vyanjakataya. It is a place of manifestation of the self which is all pervading. You understand this? Self manifests itself through the thought function of ego. It does not become created through the ego. Like what? Like this sun rays. Sun ray, you say sun ray. What is the color? There is no color in sun ray. But the same sun ray, when it is passing through a prism, what do you see? You see the 7 colors Vibji, or you say the sun rays have 7 colors. Now, that is not the color of the prism. The crystal does not have any color. But when it passes, the sun rays passes through this prism, the color in the sun ray, they manifest. It is not created by the prism. It manifests through the prism. Similarly, like a prism, your thought function manifests the self, does not create the self, does not create the existence. Therefore, he says, Vyanjakataya. Atmana yogasya paragati jnana hetutva abhigamat. That knowledge is manifesting there. And this is all, even logicians accept it. Logicians accept the knowledge to be created by the association of mind and self. Mind and self association creates a knowledge. They say. So mind, self, sat, existence manifests knowledge. Knowledge though exists always is as though seen as manifesting. So he says, tad utpatti vinasheneva cha tad upahite spurana rupe sati utpatti vinasha pratiti upapattehe na ekasya spuranasya swatah utpatti vinasha kalpana prasangah. So okay, tad utpatti vinasheneva, because of the creation and destruction of that thought function of ego, by that itself, tat upahite, whatever is objectified by that thought function, spurana rupe sati, the self which is of the nature of experience, that self, that sat, utpatti vinasha pratiti, is seen to be created and destroyed. Iti pratiti upavatte. This is possible. Therefore, na ekasya spuranasya swata utpatti vinasha kalpana prasangah. There is no situation to imagine the one non-dual self to be created and destroyed. There is no possibility here. Okay? But how do you say this? I'll explain with your own language. Dhvani avachedena shabdavat ghatadi avachedena akashavat. He has taken care of both the opponents. One is the Purvamimamsaka, the other is the logician. The Purvamimamsaka, Karmakandins, they accept the sound to be eternal. Shabdo Nityaha, sound is eternal. Now, sound is eternal, but not Dhvani. So, Dhvani is Dhvani manifests the sound. Dhvani means the words which we pronounce, the sound which we make, that manifests the sound, but that is not the sound itself. That is why it says Dhvani avachedana. Through the noise we make, Shabdavat. The Shabda is manifesting. Similarly, Ghatadi avachedana akashat. Therefore, it is not limiting the sound. The Dhvani, the noise which we produce, does not limit the sound. Similarly, the pot which is seen as the limiting factor of space does not limit the space. Does not limit the space. Similarly, here this is for the logician. Logician accepts the space to be all-pervading, eternal. Now that space is not limited by pot. Though inside the pot you see the space, pot space does not limit the space. Similarly, ahankarastu tasmin adhyastopi tad ashrayataya bhasate tad vritti tadatmyadhyasat. Ahankarastu, the ego, tasmin adhyastopi, though it is superimposed on that sat, tad ashrayataya bhasate, is seen, illumined by having it as the substratum. How? Tad vritti tadatmyadhyasat, because of the association, the identification with that sat. That thought function becomes identified with that sat. Therefore, it seems to be existent. Though it is superimposed, it seems to itself to be of the knowledge form. Therefore, it says sad sushupta. How do you say? Sushupta ahankara bhaveyapi tad vasanavasita ajnana bhasakasya chaitanyasya swataspranam. See, sushupto ahankara bhava. In the deep sleep there is no ego, there is no mind, because mind exists only in the waking state. Ahankara is mind. So the mind exists only in the waking state and the deep sleep, dream state, not in the deep sleep state. In the deep sleep state, the thought imprints left over by the mind is activated by it is used by the avidya. That is why we say sushupti is avidya gochara, avidya vritti. So, sushupti is avidya gochara, avidya vritti. That is the state. Avidya gochara, avidya vritti avastha is sushupti. Therefore, he says tad vasana vasita. Because of the thought imprints of the waking state and dream state, that thought imprints ajnana bhasakasya. The ignorance, through the ignorance, the self shines on that. Chaitanyasya. Chaitanyasya ajnana bhasakasya, the self which illumines the ignorance, through that swadaspuranam, through that it is a see. The Chaitanya which is self-effulgent. Therefore, it is identified with that self-effulgent and it is experiencing that bliss there. But not seeing that to be itself, because of the ignorance. Ignorance can exist in the self, but it cannot destroy the self, nor can the self destroy the ignorance. It does not have the capability. Itself does not function, self does not have any action. Anyatha etavantam kalam aham kimapi na ajñāsisham iti suptoti tasya smaranam na syat. Otherwise, there will be no experience of the person who wakes up from the deep sleep that I didn't know anything, I slept very peacefully. That peaceful the experience of peace and of not knowing anything, both of them cannot be remembered if it is not experienced. Nacha uttitasya jnana abhava anumitiriti iyamiti vachyam. Don't say this is the inference of the person who has woken up from the deep sleep. Inference of what? Inference of absence of knowledge. You should not say that. Why? Sushupti kala rupa paksha ajnana linga asambhavat. In that sushupti kala as the paksha, taking the sushupti kala as the place of proving something, you cannot have any remainder. You cannot have any pointer to it. See, mountain is the paksha. Okay, in that paksha of mountain, you have fire as the sadhya. That we want to prove. So now, deep sleep is the paksha. Now in that you want to prove absence of knowledge. But what is the pointer for that? There is no pointer here. So he says, asparnadehe व्यभिचारित्वात् स्मरण अजनक निर्विकल्पकादि अभाव असाधकत्वाच्च. अस्मरणादेहे व्यभिचारित्वात्, asmarana etc., not having the memory etc. will become a problem. If you don't accept the memory, then it will be a problem. Not that smarana ajanaka nirvikalpadi abhava asadhakatvacha. Smarana ajanaka, for that memory to be not produced, that nirvikalpaka, which is a that smarana, that memory which is clear. For that memory, abhava asadhakatvacha, absence of that you cannot prove through anything. Absence of that memory creation you cannot prove through anything, because the memory is created. Jnana samagriya bhavasya cha anyonyashriya grastatvat. Jnana samagriya bhava. See, knowledge takes place through some materials, so that is absent. How do you know this? Knowledge is absent. Through knowledge you have to establish the absence of knowledge, but here that is not possible. If you don't accept that to be knowledge, then how do you establish the absence of knowledge? If you cannot the means of knowledge, so if you cannot establish the means of knowledge, how can you establish the absence of knowledge? For knowledge you have to explain the reasons, the material causes for that knowledge. For that material cause, you have to say there is a knowledge. Only through some effect you have to establish, you can establish some cause. Now you don't have any effect, therefore you cannot have any cause. You cannot have any cause, therefore you cannot have any effect. If you want to establish the effect, you have to have cause. If you want to accept the cause, you have to have the effect. Both are not there, therefore it is anyonyashriya dosha. Tathacha shruti. This shruti also says, yad vai tanna pashyati pashyan vai taddrashtavyam na pashyati. Whatever exists, he does not see, though he sees. Whatever he exists there, whatever objects that exist, even though he sees that, he does not see them in the deep sleep. Drashtuhu drashter vipralopo vidyate avinashitvat na vidyate avinashitvat. The seer's vision does not get negated because he is eternal. इत्यादि सुषुप्तौ स्वप्रकाश स्फुरण सद्भावम तन्नित्यतया दर्शयति. In this text, these kind of scriptures, what do they say? Sushuptau, in the deep sleep, swaprakash spurana sadbhavam, the existence of the self-effulgent experiential self, tannityatya darshyati, establishes it to be eternal there. Because that which exists in the waking state as the witness, in the deep sleep, dream state as the witness, exists in the deep sleep state also. Therefore, it is established as eternal. That which exists in all three periods of time is eternal, and self is eternal. That is how it is established. We'll see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.